Hi, this is Binny Freedman from Yeshivat Orayta speaking from Mizrahi. This week's portion of Chayei Sarah begins with a verse that's grammatically problematic and contains a number of interesting questions. One of them, the verse, Pasuk says, Vayu Chayei Sarah me'ah shana v'esrim shana v'sheva shanim. And the years of Sarah were 100 years and 20 years and 7 years. Shnei Chayei Sarah, these are the years of Sarah's life. Why the repetition at the end of the verse? Sarah has just passed away. Avram is devastated. This week's portion deals, one of the primary themes is the death of Sarah and her burial. But why the repetition? And these are the years of Sarah's life. We've already said that in the verse. So I have a close friend who lost a son. His son was a katzin, an officer in Golani in the Israeli army. He was killed tragically in Hebron on duty. And he once gave me a book, which he said gave him a lot of chizuk. It gave him a lot of help, sort of struggling. And it's a collection of letters from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, responses basically to tragedy. One of them is a story about a fellow whose family dedicated a Sefer Torah. And in the midst of the dedication ceremony in his home, everybody was there, everybody was celebrating, a young woman suddenly, tragically dropped dead, passed away from a severe heart attack. And of course this fellow was devastated. Felt guilty, felt responsible, that it was in his house that it happened, during the party, perhaps something he could have done. So he eventually came to speak to Lubavitcher Rebbe, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe quoted this verse. What do we learn from the last three words of this verse? We learn something very simple. Don't think that there are other reasons as to why Sarah died. There are reasons that she lived. But she died, says Lubavitcher Rebbe, on that day, at that moment, because these were the years of her life. She was meant to have 127 years. That's what she was given, and that's what she had. There's a pasuk in Kiteitzei. In a portion of Kiteitzei, there's a very special mitzvah called Ma'akeh. If you build a house on the roof, you have to build a banister around the roof to protect the person that he shouldn't fall. And the verse says, V'lo yudamim al beitecha bin pola nofel mimenu. That when a person falls, the blood shouldn't be on your house. So the commentators point out, it shouldn't say bin pol hanofel mimenu when the faller falls. It should say build a banister so that nobody will fall. And again, the Torah is teaching us, if a person falls, when a person passes away, don't think what you did caused that person to pass. That person passed away because it was their time. Everybody has a certain amount of time. Why you were the vehicle for that happening, that's something to think about. So we all have a set amount of time in this world. The question that we have to ask ourselves, which is poised by and presented by Parashat Chayei Sarah, is what do we do with those years? Do we fill them with meaning, or do we miss those opportunities? Something to think about on Parashat Chayei Sarah. Shabbat Shalom.